said you can't say I'm racist for disliking Ironheart because I enjoy the movie Sinners. What? You can't dislike? Wait, you can't? Wait. Nerdrotic said you can't call him racist because he said you can't call him racist because he liked Sinners. So him disliking Ironheart? Okay, maybe he's not racist, maybe he's sexist. It's so funny when guys do shit like that because that sort of logic only applies to other races, right? Like, imagine if I was like, what? You can't say I don't like white people because I watch Spider-Man. So that means I can shit on every other movie that's ever come out, white people in it, because I like Spider-Man. People, oh no, that's weird. But they can say, I'm not racist. I like Sinners. This is like, oh, I voted for Obama. Like, hey, I don't know how to tell you this, but you know what? Blade Runners hung around a ton of black people, and they were surprisingly not their biggest fan. Like, I love that. Wait. Do we want to go to hell for a little bit? Do we want to? Let's go to hell for a little bit. I ask if you guys have any control of what video I'm going to play for you guys, but I want to see, where did Nerdrotic say this shit? Oh, he has an Ironheart review. Ironheart is an iconic disaster. Oh my god! Wait. Okay. All right. Okay, now fellas. First and foremost, I love the fact that they always have to do that with the thumbnails, where they'll try to make like they're dumb, and it's like Birdman called this shit out a month ago, right? And then it's like, oh my god, dude. It's fucking Ironheart, a masterclass in bad morality. I love channel. I fucking love when people show their whole asses. I love that so much. First off, can I just say something real quick? YouTube, you cannot get mad at me. I'm also black. What the fuck happened to Tyrone Magnus? Like, this nigga used to be so happy. He used to be the happiest, jolliest black man on YouTube. And then overnight just became this fucking miserable piece of shit person. Just wanted to mention that real quick. It feels like I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but like I think the clone shit was real, because what the fuck? Like, they just swapped him out. Like, I don't know what happened to Tyrone, but Lord give me strength. Like, this is okay. Nerdrotic has made 1, 2, 3, 4 videos, in this 1 month. Okay. Ironheart's hilarious done. The MCU needs to end. Ironheart is an iconic disaster. Didn't he really use that? An iconic disaster is incoming. So this is what you call priming. He's priming his audience a month before the series premiered, already calling it a disaster, right? He's gearing up for it. And if you guys have seen my video with, again, Revy, you know that Ironheart is actually a big success for Marvel, which they desperately needed. In fact, I believe it's now like, what, 85%? Hold on, let me make sure. 86%, which has it higher than Squid Game. Now, obviously, I know this is not the end all be all when it comes to, I understand that. I know. But he's trying to say that this is an iconic disaster, right? So let's put on our listening devices, which for me is this headphones, and we're gonna go to hell for a bit. I have not finished Ironheart yet. I'm being full disclosure, but I'm pretty confident I can say it is not the worst live action Marvel ever made. I will say, from episode 1, if we're doing it out of like, I don't like to do scale, but out of 10, I'd say it's like a 6. There's a little too much exposition for my liking too soon, but that's the worst of it. Let's see.
Thorne is back as brilliant engineer Riri. Is that right? Riri Williams.
How do you think Ironheart will shift the narrative for the coming generations?
Yikes.
I love that lyric. Looks like us. You know what I mean? Long nails, long hair, popping out here.
After starting on a Marvel show, like, where do I go from here?
It's directed by 2 Black women.
I think we have a very special message. I think you gotta recognize who this is.
For 400 years.
Okay, so we can already see what's happening here, right? It's the same shit. Doesn't even talk about, what is she talking about the show? A minute and 26 seconds before he even potentially talks about it. So again, what we're doing here is priming the audience. He's priming the audience. There is no positive feelings coming into it. There's no neutral feeling coming into this video. It's completely going to be negative. I know the title says it's disaster, but the video itself has no emotional or mental pathway towards having a positive feeling about the show. It's only going to be negative. And to reinforce that point, what does he show? He shows just part of the scene where someone goes like, yikes.
For the coming generations.
Yikes.
That's it. Right? And then it's, oh my God, you guys, Black people being happy to see themselves represented. Terrible. Oh my God, a queer person? What the fuck? And then
It's directed by 2 Black women.
like, wow.
I think we
And like, it's great. Like having to use this image of Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder because he can't have Iron Man. He can't have Iron Man saying, hey, I think you'll do a good job, Riri. Me, Iron Man, the white superhero that these fucking nerds seem to think was Jesus, whose reputation was perfect. They can't have him say that. So it has to be, let's take it from a different movie where he's Black, because that will somehow make this a joke.
Like the dumbest mother that ever lived. Just farting in bathtubs, laughing your ass off. It's how science, man. It's art form. You know it.
Oh my God, thank you.
Never go for a retard.
Nerdrotic.com.
Friends, Disney
Because-
Marvel's had a rough time of late. It's been almost a year since the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, the billion-dollar box office smash, and as predicted, it was just an anomaly and it would be right back to the regular scheduled Disney Marvel programming, and it's been all downhill from there. Despite Bob Iger repeatedly saying over years when it comes to Disney Marvel that they were going to start focusing on quality over quantity, over the last 9 months, the opposite has happened as Disney Marvel has put out a steady sewage stream of slop.
Is he really going to say Daredevil was slop? I should stop the video right here. I should stop the fucking video right here.
Featuring A and B list characters that even comic book fans would have a hard time caring about.
Oh, what a weird concept. Marvel's using A and wait, first off, what? A and wait, what?
Opposite has happened
Wait.
as Disney Marvel has put out a steady sewage stream of slop featuring A and B list characters.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Marvel's putting out movies with A list characters? What? What a bad move. and B-listers, motherfucker, what do you think the Avengers were? The Avengers were B-listers. The A-listers are Marvel, Spider-Man, and the X-Men. Okay? The Avengers was a bunch of B-listed superheroes that had like middling success with their individual comic books, did the Avengers, that popped off, and then they all popped off. You mean to fucking tell me you knew Guardians of the Galaxy before? You think the MCU fans knew who the fuck Peter Quill was? Or Groot? That wasn't even the original incarnation of the Guardians of the Galaxy they put on the screen, mind you. So to be like, oh, well, Marvel putting out fucking A and B-list characters no one would know about, they're A-list characters. They would know about them.
That even comic book fans would have a hard time caring about.
That's fucking Spider-Man. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Ant-Man was in the original Avengers. I know. The original Avengers was Ant-Man, Janet Van Dyne, aka the Wasp. Although he wasn't, I believe he wasn't Ant-Man back then. I think he was Yellow Jacket. Anyways, or Giant Man. I don't know. Hank Pym's had a lot. But it was Hank Pym, Janet Van Dyne, and then it was Iron Man, and then Thor. Because Captain America came later. And then the original story, I believe, was Hulk was actually the bad guy that Loki like mind warped the fucked with, and that caused the Avengers to join together. They didn't meet Captain America until after that.
That are radically altered in some form or another, be it the passing of a mantle or just an outright race and gender swap, so these characters can reflect the Los Angeles that they live in today.
Los Angeles.
Gotten theater kids Marvel with Agatha all along.
The gayest project Marvel has ever done.
Yup.
Which admittedly is the best performing Disney Marvel thing since Deadpool and Wolverine, coming in 45th on the Nielsen Top 100.
Yeah, well, there's no accounting for taste.
But after that, Captain African American flopped. Daredevil flopped.
Oh, wow.
The Thunderbolts flopped. And
Wait, Daredevil flopped? What are you talking about? Also, Captain African America. I know he's a racist. I know Nerdrotic, the guy who used to sell drugs, true story, to outside comic books. I know he's a racist. Hi, this is me, obviously much later, editing this video, well, this stream. Anyways, I want to really quickly point out that Nelson Hipper back, why would you mention that he did drugs? I mentioned that for two reasons. First and foremost, he has admitted to being an addict. Secondly, which is not the problem, but combined with the fact that he seemed to have swapped out his selling meth to children's addiction to being racist on the internet. So that's why I put that in there, to highlight the fact that he's just changed out drugs. We could even add a third thing and say he swapped out being a meth dealer / addict to, being addicted to producing racist, grifting slop on the internet. This is his new addiction. That's why I mentioned that. So you can see there's a pattern. He's an addict. He's addicted to harmful shit. And now, instead of pushing physical drugs, he pushes this bullshit ass rhetoric all the time. Captain African America. Look how hard he goes against Riri, right? You'll see in the rest of this video. But I just want to say that real quick, where people are like, why would you mention that? And that's why, okay? He's just swapped one addiction for another, which is somehow worse than what he was doing before. Because now he's affecting millions of people, or the hundreds of thousands of people who watch his stuff. Okay? All right. I understand that. But like, you couldn't let that just be Captain America flopped. That's it. Well, Captain African America, but then just Daredevil, not like Blind Devil or British Devil. He's British. That's worse. And like Thunderbolt flop. Actually, I'm sorry. What do they mean it flopped? It's a TV show. 80% average on popcorn meter. 87. It's certified. What are we talking about? What do they mean? What do they mean by like, flop? By what standard? 8 out of 10 on IMDb. What do you mean flop? It's getting a season 2. Mitch D'Onofrio plans for Daredevil Born Again season 3. If season 2, does well, whatever, or they continue to season 2. That's a regular TV show. That's a regular TV show. If we continue the show, we have more ideas. But if we don't get a third season, we have where like that's literally just how TV shows operate. I know people aren't used to that coming from Marvel, right? Which is fair, but that's how TV shows fucking operate. You hope you go on long enough to tell your story, but like you also can get canceled. Also, lots of good shows get canceled. Look at what fucking Netflix does. Like what are we doing?
But coming in 45th on the American flop. Marvel, the house of out of ideas, was expecting at least one win in there. A win they didn't get. And this brings us to Ironheart. Maybe Kevin Feige would
after 2 fucking minutes
sneak this in between a couple of hits. Turns out that was
not a great plan.
Not only not a great plan, the worst plan in the history of plans. If you recall, Ironheart was announced on December 10th, 2020, and filming was completed in November of 2022. And then Kevin Feige actually watched it.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
And after 2.5 years and almost a dozen attempts to re-edit this turd, they could delay it no longer, and they finally released a trailer in the shortest amount of time in Marvel's history and herstory between any MCU project's first trailer and its release date.
Iconic.
Which was ratioed into oblivion for good reason.
Hey, so that's not a real actual thing. That's one of those extensions that they use to track dislikes, which, let's be really real. Side note here, side note here for a second, okay? You know how much of a fucking loser you have to be to want to see how many dislikes a video on YouTube's gotten? It doesn't matter what we're talking about here. These are never representative of the public at large. And we know this because one of the most disliked videos in like, especially for the gaming side of YouTube, was like one of the like Call of Duty, and Call of Duty sells $1 billion worth of content every fucking time it comes out. These things do not matter. You are looking at a sample size of people who are on YouTube who either are part of this culture war bullshit, so they'll downvote anything, which this is definitely what this is about, or they care enough about something to actually vote on it. It's no different than when like CNN or NBC or what have you does a poll, and it's of the people who came to our website and then completed the poll. This is what they said, which is a subset of a subset of a subset of a subset. And then even within that small subset, there are people who can just want to kick this, kick shit stirs. Like, this is a bad metric to go by. No, the dislike extension is not trustworthy at all.
Iconic.
Because it turns out adapting an unpopular character from an unpopular comic that was canceled multiple times.
Yeah, that's never happened. There's no comic on that list that they're showing that's ever been canceled. Also, I love that he says unpopular, and then she's in 45th. 44th was the Immortal Hulk. So is the Hulk an unpopular character? 39th is the Flash. Is the Flash an unpopular character? Like, and also, what is this chart showing? What is he covering here? What do these two numbers mean? Does it mean it started at 45 and now is at 28? Does it mean it started at 28 and 45? Are these number of weeks? What's this number one? Like, is it the number one selling? Is it like it doesn't give you any reference. This is incomplete. They're showing you.
And then deciding to have the genius idea to adapt it into a television show that cost between $100 and $150 million, coincidentally greenlighting it right after the events of the Summer of Love, purely as a virtue signal, adds to the Olympus Mons.
Yeah, dude. That's my favorite part. I was waiting for this dumbassery. So, you do not greenlight shows. The show came out, was what? He said 2020, right?
If you recall, Ironheart was announced on December 10th, 2020, and filming was completed in November of 2022.
So, hey. Hey, so when they say the summer of love, just so you guys know, it's like the BLM stuff. It's like that's what they're talking about. Like they say that shit as a reference to that. If that were true, wouldn't they released it like right after Wakanda Forever came out? Or like released it like in December? Because they're just trying to capitalize on that. Fuck the quality, just put it out right then and there. They are making massive assumptions about what's happened behind the scenes because they have no idea what it takes to go into production of something, which you should know when it comes to being creative. People like Nerdrotic aren't. They don't understand that there's timing for things. They don't understand there's also external factors. You also had shit like the fucking SAG after strikes happening. So these people wouldn't be able to like promote their product, right? Did we think about that? Did we think about the strikes?
To the Olympus Mons of evidence that Bob Iger and Kevin Feige
or COVID.
What the f they're doing?
And despite Kevin Feige himself reportedly saying that Marvel feels more like homework than entertainment, Ironheart requires homework. But it's really not that much. According to Disney Plus, all you need to watch is Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Black Panther, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and What If.
Okay.
But there is some good news. You don't have to watch any of that or this show. So after almost a half a decade from conception to excretion.
Half a decade? Half a decade? The show wrapped in 2022. It came out in 2025. What are you talking about? It wrapped 3 years ago.
Ironheart has arrived. And unsurprisingly, we have to break this meme out one more time because our expectations were low, but holy f***. Keeping in mind, Kevin Feige in these last 5 years had every opportunity to shit-can this for the write-off, but instead he made the worst mistake.
We are 4 minutes into an 18-minute video, and we have not spoken once about the show. Do you understand what I mean when I say that these guys want to just prime their audience? Almost nothing was about the actual show. Fucking 4 minutes and 44 seconds of preamble about his grievances with Marvel as a whole. Nothing to do with the fucking show.
Imaginable by actually releasing it, and no, it's not being undersold. After 3 episodes, this is by far the worst live action Marvel ever made. It is indeed the Marvel's acolyte, although maybe not as funny. At best, it's 25 minutes of content stretched across an hour and a half, not counting the 18 minutes collectively of credits, which were sweet relief.
18 okay. This is what happens when you have nothing to say. 18 minutes of credits, you guys. Whoa. In 3 episodes, a total of 18 minutes were the credits that people always skip. Mind you, these episodes aren't like fucking 10 minutes long. Runtime. Each episode is about 42 to fucking 60 minutes. Ironheart TV consists of 6 episodes with varying lengths ranging from 40 to 57 minutes. The first episode is 41 minutes, while the final episode is 40 units. As a Reddit user notes, that the other episodes and runtimes are 48, 53, 50, and 57 minutes respectively. So you're almost getting an hour each episode. On the low end, 40 minutes, over half an hour. And then you're getting credits. And he wants to make it seem as if the first 3 episodes, so episode 1, so 40, and then 48, 53. So that's 88. That is what? 133 minutes total. Out of 133 total minutes, 18 of those minutes were credits? Whoa. Wow, dude. What a negligible percentage.
The show could be best described as boring, frequently interrupted with the purest forms of cringe, and unintentionally hilarious due to the portrayal of diverse characters in the most stereotypical way possible. I've put this off long enough. Let's talk about Ironheart. Now, credit where credit is.
Why do they do that? Why do they think they have to come up with these witty names? And it's always like something with shit. Ironheart. Oh, wow, dude, it took you what? A whole 3 seconds to think of that banger of a joke? Did we not see other thumbnails also saying Ironheart? They're not even original with their insults.
Do a show that clearly knows it's one and done, doesn't waste any time, and alienates the audience right off the bat, because this is how it starts.
Here we go. Okay, just to let you know, your girlfriend be bigger than jobs, right? Bigger than gates, right? Bigger than pen,
That's actually not how the show starts.
right? Bigger than start. Yeah, come on.
The only thing
That's not how it starts.
to be is as big of a failure as the Marvels. But to be fair, she could.
Also, don't think I didn't catch the smoke detector. This is obviously someone who doesn't hang around black people. I know it says edited by Quarter Black, but he doesn't hang around black people. He doesn't understand kids being overly confident, black kids talking like this, because Nerdrotic doesn't like black people. And this is what I said in my other video too. These people are so afraid of other cultures that if a show is proudly, blatantly steeped in another culture, it automatically turns them off. Automatically turns them off. Like they have the biggest ick with it. They can't, oh, black people, black joy, black neighborhoods. Oh, I can't deal with it. She just said she's going to be the biggest of them all. Yeah, what character? No other character has ever had those kind of aspirations. You're right, dude.
Potentially be as big of a villain as Bill Gates. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, Riri's friend Natalie says this.
What do you want? Want anything? I like throwing his hammer.
And his hammer? Well, I guess that's on brand.
Oh no, you guys. Oh no, girls making joke? Wow.
Disney.
Flick too hard, damn it.
Anyway, most of the first episode is.
No, and thing is too, he cussed that part out. Then she says, then Riri checks her now. She's like, come on, like B says. She's like, I don't know, just to be happy. That's what she says. She wants to be happy. Because they're setting it up for something that happens in the future. It's still in an episode, which is why they put that in the beginning. See, if you know anything about storytelling or you knew anything about art in the beginning at all, right? You could see these are small character moments. This is Riri shooting big ambitions, wants to be bigger than Steve Jobs, bigger than Tony Stark. And her friend, while joking at first, just wants happiness. Riri wants all these things and her friend wants happiness. That's important.
Is dedicated to getting to know.
Also, I know I'm pausing a lot, but he says that line about that part of the court. What did he feel about when they said that's America's ass? What about that? Is that okay? What about Deadpool and Wolverine? Nothing but gay jokes. Is that okay? Oh, but a heterosexual girl saying she'd want to bang a god. Oh. Ooh. Women can't have fun and have agency.
Riri Williams, and I gotta say up front, she is the definition of grace and humility.
I'm here because I can be the greatest inventor of my generation. I'm gonna need the equivalent of a whole vibranium mountain to be great. Due respect, Dean Troy, what do I get out of matriculation? Some job in Palo Alto with a tiny window and a bunch of guys I have to pretend to like? I want to build something undeniable. You want me to be small, but I refused.
Now it's here where she gets called out on her and it's also an unintentional description of the show.
That's a hot pile of garbage.
But then it's right.
Look, I'm repeating myself. This is the same fucking thing that Rev does. It is a character flaw. It is a character flaw. That's why in the story, they pointed it out. She said, that's bullshit, right? That's why they said that. That's why she's like this. And also, the fucking montage she uses is like, let's break through this scene by scene. It's like,
of my generation.
I want to be the greatest inventor of my generation. Oh my God, how dare you not be humble? How dare you want to be shit?
I'm gonna need the equivalent of a whole vibranium mountain to be great.
And that section, she's referring to the fact that she doesn't have access to the vibranium she had when she was in fucking Wakanda.
Due respect, Dean Troy.
Like, what is that? What?
Matriculation. Some job in Palo Alto with a tiny window and a bunch of guys I have to pretend to like? want to build something on.
And then that part, she's saying she doesn't want to be small, which she says explicitly. But she, at her young ass age, had already made an Iron Man suit, something that literally no one else was able to successfully do. Like, she is part of the reason why there's even a war in Wakanda, her technology. Like, that's why they wanted her. It's like, fucking hell, dude.
Undeniable. You want me to be small, but I refuse.
Now it's here where she gets.
Here's this part.
But then it's right back to it.
You, Riri Williams, are making an iron suit.
People are obsessed with them. I could build 1,000 other things, and no one would care. But if I could build one of them, better than everyone else, people got no choice but to respect me.
And it wouldn't be Disney Marvel if they weren't taking a shot at the legacy character.
Here we go. Here we fucking go. Here we go.
That she was supposed to be replacing.
I need cash, money. Do you think Tony Stark would be Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire?
Tony Stark was able to.
I love this. I love this so much. I love this so much. I love this so much because, first off, if you watched Iron Man 1, you know that he doesn't fucking mean he literally built his first Iron Man suit out of scraps. He was supposed to be building the Jericho missile for the 10 rings. So they gave him the materials to build that. And he used said materials to make his Iron Man suit. Do you think he was actually using fucking scraps? Do you, Nerdrotic? Do you think he was actually using junk parts to make his suit? He also had someone else helping him with that. So this wasn't Jeff Bridges being literal. He's saying in comparison to the technology they have at Stark Tech, that was a box of scraps and he made the suit. But not that the actual materials were garbage, just by comparison to the access that they have. Also, yes, Tony Stark would not be Tony Stark if he wasn't a billionaire. That's what afforded him the ability to actually make proper Iron Man suits, especially at scale. Like, how is this the hard concept to understand? And also, Riri Williams lives in the Marvel universe, okay? Let's say in our universe, I am a super genius and I make an Iron Man suit and I have all this money, all this shit. But I also was tortured and all this stuff too, right? You're not going to know that because all you would have seen is billionaire gets kidnapped and then billionaire becomes Iron Man. You don't see the rest of that stuff. That's what we, the viewers, get to see. We get to experience things with the person we're following. In Riri's universe, she doesn't see that shit. So for her, she's going to have a very specific view of Iron Man, which is he's a rich guy, because he is. And his wealth allowed him access. If he wasn't rich in the first place, he wouldn't even literally be Iron Man. He's Iron Man because he was a rich weapons manufacturer / dealer, the merchant of death, they called him. And then he was so good at killing people, he created the Jericho missile, promoted as like, this is the missiles to end all missiles, end all wars or whatever. And then he was kidnapped. Thanks to his business partner, because his business partner wanted to take over his multi-billion-dollar company. Do you understand how all of this happens because he's rich? None of this happens because he's poor. He doesn't get to be Iron Man without money. That's the point of what statement she's making. Not disrespecting Tony Stark, but she even says it in the part he cut off. She says no shade. But like keeping it real, yes, the money makes him. Like, it's such a dumb talking point and it just shows how much you guys do not engage with your brain.
Build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
How come you're not working at, like, I don't know, Stark Industries or something?
He contributed immensely to the field, so I won't roast Tony Stark off rip. But I don't have $1 billion.
Tony Stark was
In that one clip, you're so stupid. That one clip absolutely explains everything. I will not disrespect Tony Stark. After he just said Marvel was taking shots at their legacy characters, has a clip of the character who's replacing him saying she's not going to disrespect him off rip, and in fact, he contributed greatly to the field. And then she says, but I don't have $1 billion. Yeah. And Tony Stark did. So he could make his own suits and do that. Like it's such a it's such a it's so fucking like dumb.
With a box of scraps.
But it doesn't end there, because the crack, or more accurately described, on-crack writing team at Disney Marvel attempts to make Riri even more endearing by having her get expelled for selling completed tests to students.
You sold completed.
Does he not understand? Oh my God. This has to be intentional. This has to be intentional. There's no way. There's no way you've never seen a movie before. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
Assignments to students at every school in the area.
After that, Riri steals the Ironheart suit that
Okay, so does not steal the suit. They quite literally let her go take it.
she thinks she's entitled to because she built it with money from a grant.
She built that with her own grant money.
And she flies home to Chirac with the help of the MIT AI, who's a gay pencil.
I'm Trevor.
A gay, oh my God, dude, like, can you guys not go 3 seconds without trying to do some fucking dog whistle? Is your audience attention span so minimal because of the brain what you've been putting out on their screens that every second has to be culture war dog whistles? Like,
steals the iron
didn't steal
suit that she thinks she's entitled to.
And then they try to think for you that she thinks she's entitled to. MIT let her take it.
Because she built it with money from a grant.
And yes, she is entitled to. They literally say, everything that belongs to you, you can take. That's what they say. That is literally her suit. It does belong to her. She didn't build it with MIT's money. She built it with a separate grant.
She built that with her own grant money.
She built that with her own grant money. This is so fucking stupid. This is so fucking stupid. If I got a loan from a bank to go to school to MIT and I use that money to build something, it is mine. And they let her take it.
And she flies home to Chirac with the help of the MIT AI, who's a gay pencil.
A gay pencil? He just said step on Trevor.
I'm Trevor.
How was that gay?
IT's teaching robot and virtual operational resource and your very own AI assistant.
Violent.
He doesn't say, oh my God, these guys are such losers, bro. You guys are such losers. I hope they see this. Nerdrotic, you're such a fucking loser. You're like 50 years old doing this shit, man.
Now, if the show ended with her being expelled, 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, it didn't. But if you're a viewer out there who made it past this part and to the end of the first 3 episodes, you deserve reparations.
Hey, yo, get off the street.
So Riri makes it back home, cut off from her gay pencil AI and broke. And through a series of contrived events, she runs across another race-swapped character.
A series of contrived events. You like how they gloss over literally everything? What happened was, first off, she goes home, she talks to her mom. And then one of her old buddies comes to her house. And so they go out. And that's where you had that one scene when he says, Riri Williams, why aren't you working at, so-and-so? Oh, no, sorry. That's a good scene when he goes like, Riri Williams, you did X, Y, and Z. You're making robots. And she's like, I can make 1,000 other things. That scene happens. And then after that scene, he invites her to a garage, which is where her stepdad used to work, his own garage, because they're building up character. And then he is trying to get some stuff out that she can use to make a suit to salvage. And then she can't afford it. And then the person who works for Parker Robbins comes to her, where you get that scene where he says, how come you're not at like Stark Tech or something? And then he offers her a job and she needs money. It's called a fucking plot, dude.
Character from the comic books, the Hood, who we will now call Da Hood, and his League of
The Hood. Mind you, Parker Robbins is a nobody. In fact, I promise you, none of you knew who Parker Robbins was before this show. And like how he says "the Hood" as if he's black. That's a Latino man. So that's so fucking weird to me. It's so weird.
Extraordinary they thems who we'll get to later. And just in case for a moment you forgot that Riri Williams was a genius, they decide to remind you again.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius, but I said to myself, Parker, you gotta meet this kid up close.
Quick reminder, that was a line of dialogue that was written by a human, delivered by a human, sound edited by a human, edited by a human, and approved by a human, and actually released by other humans.
I like how he's trying to isolate this dialogue if it's like something atrocious.
Parker, you gotta meet this kid up close.
People have spoken like that. People have said stuff like that. It's and then he's like, in case you forgot she's a genius, they have to remind you again, and doesn't show you the fact that she MacGyvered her way out of a fucking bomb situation.
Quick reminder, sound released by only join this criminal organization when they promise they don't hurt anybody.
Look, I don't want to hurt anyone.
It's not like that.
Okay, so what do you do?
Theft, extortion, breaking and entering.
See, it's fine. Now, most of the next 2 episodes dedicate an excruciating amount of time reconnecting Riri Williams with her dead best friend who's now an AI. So for the sake of your valuable time and our collective sanity, I'll try to get through this briefly. The one component Riri Williams needed to get her suit working again was an AI, which she was able to pull off after knowingly taking money from a criminal organization.
I want to remind you guys that Tony Stark used to sell weapons used to kill people and also killed people. Okay? Tony Stark used to sell weapons for billions of dollars and is still considered a hero. She is desperate for money. And so she took money from illicit activities, sure, but you knew that going into it. Like, that's the thing too. Like, they act as if Riri Williams is not becoming a hero, but already is a hero. We're not going to watch the rest of this because I feel like it's just going to be the same bullshit, right? It's just going to be like, there's no point in watching this. These guys are so fucking dishonest or just stupid and think their audience is the same way as them, that they will lie to you and act as if Riri Williams is already a hero and she's doing bad guy things and not a hero's journey. This would be like in like the original Spider-Man movies, if like Peter Parker was a wrestler, which he was, right? And didn't stop that guy, and they're just like, wait, how was he supposed to be a superhero? He didn't use his abilities to stop someone from doing wrong. God, I wonder if that's going to become important to his character growth later on, you know? Like, that's the way they're looking at it. You can take literally every hero. Why didn't Batman stop his parents from being shot? He just let them be shot in an alleyway, and that's your hero? Superman let his planet blow up and that's your guy? Like, that is how they are looking at this, which is the dumbest way to look at this shit. It is so obvious that these are heroes' journeys. These are moments in a hero's life that lead them down the path of heroism. That's why. And also, Ant-Man's been in fucking jail. Like, Ant-Man started his movie, he was in jail. I don't see anyone up in arms about him being a hero. He broke into places too. He was a thief. Yeah, guess what? He has his PhD in like things like electronics or something, or like electrical engineering. But He was a thief. He broke into places. He was hired to steal the Ant-Man suit. He was hired to do crime by Hank Pym. Why is there not a huge outrage for that? But oh my God, Riri Williams took like $10,000 from her cut and like made an AI. Oh no. Like that's the level of dishonest critical, I wouldn't say critical thinking, dishonest grifter thinking, where it has to be case by case and you have to ignore context. There is no further story. Riri just likes stealing stuff and doing crime. There's no character development from this, you guys. Nope, this is your superhero. Look how bad she is. It's just like when that Relooted game was shown and all these guys were like, you're gonna have a game with a bunch of black people stealing and that's representation? It's like, oh, so we're gonna ignore the context that they are taking back what was taken from them by museums? Interesting. Do you also hate Robin Hood? Do you also hate Batman because he's above the law and Spider-Man because they're vigilantes? Do you also hate that too? Or is it only bad representation when it's black people doing it? Killmonger was absolutely fucking right. Their ancestors didn't pay a fair price for it. But like, this is why I don't watch videos from like Nerdrotic or Critical Drinker, because it's literally the same shit. It is literally the same exact talking points because they all have their marching orders. They will all talk about how she's disrespecting Iron Man. No, she's not. They'll talk about her being a thief and then all this stuff, calling her a killer when she's not. Like, they will do all of these same exact points because all they care about is the views and engagement. That's fucking it. There is no honest love of the media. There is no honest love of the media or the mediums they consume or engage with. They will ignore so much and assume so much just to make money, which is why I've stated in my video when I talked about how I went viral again, that I'm not motivated by money because it's easy. It's easy to do this. It's literally so easy to do it on a day-to-day basis. It's so easy that Nerdrotic has 4 videos on Ironheart. Like, it's so easy that in that video 9 days ago, he says you suffer through it. This TV show sucks. And it's terrible. And then he releases another video on this series. Now I ask you, if you were telling someone, hey man, this TV series has 12 episodes and it's after the first one, I said it was garbage and dog shit. I don't want to watch it anymore. No one should watch it. Why would you then watch the remaining 11 episodes? Or sorry, the remaining 10 episodes? No, 11. I can do math. Why would you watch the remaining 11 episodes? If you said the first 2 episodes were fucking garbage and bad and terrible, why are you watching it to completion? Oh, because you need views. That's why. This isn't about quality. This isn't about actually giving a shit. This isn't about trying to make your space better. This is about money, which is why all of his videos, like, and he has Nerdrotic, where would your channel be without the MCU? Like, legitimately. Hollywood girl bossed too close to the sun. Doctor Who ends in disaster. Oh no. You guys, so many things end in disaster, and it's just like, I guess these will never come back. Rachel Zegler. Oh man. MCU supercut. That's all they have. Like, it's just, look at this. Captain America 4 is a disaster. And then it's in the same month, it's a flop. It's like, it's just, you guys, he has these same topics. Hollywood, this is why you lose. Hollywood's bad. Hollywood's doomed. Captain for America's doomed. Can Superman save Hollywood? No, because you said Hollywood is broken 3 months later. Like, and have you noticed what movie is suspiciously not in the thumbnails? I'll give you a hint. Something came out after Acolyte and before Ironheart. There was a certain vampire movie that came out that seems to have somehow gotten past Mr. Care About Hollywood. Weird, huh? Weird how there's no Sinners on here. But surely he's spoken about it, right? Drinker extra shots. Interesting. Critical Drinker After Hours. Critical Drinker After Hours has 400,000 subscribers, right? Almost 500,000 subscribers. His main channel, has 2 million subscribers. And yet, he's quick to do Jurassic World Rebirth. Holy shit. Jurassic World Rebirth just came out like what? Yesterday? Jurassic World Rebirth was released on the 2nd. He put a video out on this. This is Critical Drinker now. He put a video on this a day ago. So on the 4th. He put the video out during 4th of July. He was quick to go on Ironheart. Quick to do 28 years later. Random movie Heaven's Gate. But nothing about Sinners. That's so weird. Nothing on the main channel about Sinners. That's so odd. Because he dropped the extra shots video.
Now, one of the questions that I keep getting asked more times than I can.
He dropped this one a month ago. You asked for it, you got it. Here's my review on Ryan Coogler's Sinners. So fun. It's interesting. It's interesting because
now one of the questions
on his After Hours channel, he doesn't really do reviews, right? These aren't like reviews. It's like other shit, streams and open bar, all that stuff too. When his videos rarely make like 100K, right? But then when unless there's like a big topic, like The Last of Us, but then he just throws in Sinners here. Drinker's Extra Shot Sinners. And everything else is a chaser, open bar, chaser, open bar. I'm trying to see when was the last shot he posted. Drinker's Chasers. Let me know when you guys see another extra shot. We're 4 months past now. Last orders. Oh, Drinker's Extra Shots. So 5 months ago. And then 3 months later, he does it for a current film. No, 4 months later, he does it for a current film. I just find that shit to be really interesting. I find it to be really interesting. That's how it shakes down. The movie that has done extremely well. That would have gotten him traction because it was a popular film, but it's not his secondary channel. A month ago. I don't think Sinners came out. Sinners came out in April. He posted a month ago. That's June. So almost 2 months after the movie came out, he posted his review of Sinners on his secondary channel. I wonder why that happened. Like, I'm telling you guys, they never care. They never care about the actual shit that they're talking about. It is just ways to make money. That's it. And yeah, I know he couldn't fit it on his main channel because then that defeats the whole purpose of their channel. And that's their problem with them, right? They have agendas. They will always say everyone else is pushing agendas. Everyone, the liberal media, the leftists, they're all pushing their agenda. Critical Drinker will literally say they're pushing the message. And yet, too pussy to put a review out of Sinners until 2 months have gone by where most people wouldn't be looking for the film's reviews, and then to be like, hey, I talked about it, I'm gonna dump it on my secondary channel. Here you go, you asked for it. Here's my Sinners review. 9 minutes. Actually, how long was the Sinners review? His Sinners review is 4 minutes and 27 seconds long. He has a 15-minute video on just the trailer for Ironheart alone. And for the completed film of Sinners, not even a 5-minute video. Like, hell, even his Jurassic World Rebirth it's almost 8 minutes. Even his Ironheart thing on his main channel is 7 minutes. Not even 5 minutes. Ballerina is 5 minutes and 47 seconds. Sinners is not even 5 minutes. There are no videos within the last, 4 months that have a video that short. The shortest he has is from 5 months ago, was about Snow White being the most hated movie ever, with 4 minutes 52 seconds, which is still longer than,
You know, we often talk
his review of Sinners, which is at 4 minutes and 27 seconds. Insane. Insane, dude. It's just